If you bought it, then let's go. But the casting you bang and an exo. Pick up my hit by a color next door. We be sliding like a wet floor. Slide, slide, slide. Guess what I'm trying to do? Slide, slide, slide. Guess what I'm trying to do? Slide, slide, slide. That's what I'm trying to do. Slide, slide, slide.
Away, what's happening, YouTube? I hope you're doing good. So, the boy is rebranding.
What?
I know, I started this YouTube thing like 2 months ago, but I kind of lost my way when I came to Joburg. Ish, the city life, man.
What do you mean by that?
The city life, but then I had to go back to the drawing board, you know? But then I'm back though, like full force. And this time things are starting to open up, so I'll be going out more. So please like, subscribe and share and hit that notification bell to get notified whenever I post. And please don't forget to share my video so that I can be able to grow and reach more people too. So, you know, before I can start the video, I would really like to say, you know what, thank you very much, because my previous videos have like, yeah, it's like it has views, a lot of views though. Even though it's not a lot, but then it's a lot to me, you know. And for that, man, I would really like to say thank you, man. I appreciate the support, you know. So yeah, let's get started. Woo! So on today's video, we'll be talking about the things I should have known before taking a gap year. Yo, man, like in my mind, taking a gap year was kind of like relaxing. You go, like relaxing, as in like taking a break from school, taking a break from responsibility, taking a break from stressing yourself and stuff like that. Yeah, well, that was the whole like picture of a gap year in my mind. Because seriously, I wanted to take a gap year. Deep down, I seriously did want to take a gap year, because then I was like, I was under a lot of pressure and stuff. So I was like, you know what, the best option for me right now is to just take a gap year. I was still in school by then, so like facing the whole pressure and stuff, I was like, nah, the best thing for me is to just take a gap year, see my marks, if I see my results, how they are, you see. And if I feel like, okay, I'm not like, okay, I'm really skeptical about them, I was gonna sub and then write some few subjects just to as in boost them. Some of you get what I'm trying to say. I was like, as in boost my results. But then, you know, life took a very, very, very hard turn, you know. It turns out that it wasn't my choice to take a gap year this year, you know. It was because of like the situation and stuff, you know. Not like situation at home, like a situation with schools and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, so now I'm forced to take a gap year. So now I have to continue with my plan. But then things didn't go the way I thought they would go, but it's only now, like, let's be honest with this, I know a lot of people don't like saying this, but then, hey, bro, it's God's plan, bro. It's God's plan. So, yeah, let's start. Number one, you know, like, this is one thing that we need to, like, put out there, like, straightforward out there. You know, being a gent and taking a gap year is really painful, you know. And no matter how the gap year is, like, sorry for that, no matter how the gap year is, whether it's forced gap year or it's just like a gap year, you just wanted to take a gap year, being a gent and taking a gap year, it's not very easy. It's not easy for you, because like, bro, gents know this feeling, bro. I don't know if maybe we just from different backgrounds, but then yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're a gent and you were like fancy rich and stuff like that, and then you're modern and then you're like middle class and stuff like that. It still affects you the same way. We still have the same feeling, because as a gent, you're just used to working, because you're just used to having a purpose. Like, yeah, the gents have purpose, bro. But you're just used to having a purpose. Like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I want to be able to finish this. But then as a gent, as you take a gap year, your parents don't look at you the same way no more. Like, seriously, I'm gonna tell you about my father. We had this argument in a way, because my father was like, okay, so Junior, since you're not going to school, and we've seen how things have been happening when you've been applying and stuff like that, since you're not going to school, what is your plan? So I'm like, I'm stuck there. I'm like, okay, sure, what is my plan? Because I had a plan before like everything else happened. Like I seriously had a plan, bro. I was like dead. I was dead as focused, bro. Like I had everything written down. I was just about to tick everything. When I got my results, I started ticking. I was like, okay, sure, I passed. Nice. The first tick, you see. I was like, okay, sure. So what's next? Now let me wait for like a university and stuff like that. But then the universities pulled through and told me like, we don't have space for you this time, yeah. So my plan was like, my plan was like crumbling down. Really, it was falling. It was perishing. Yeah. So I was like, okay, sure. Because you know when you like stuck in this this box mentality, it's very hard for you to like move out. Yeah, move out of it because you stuck there. You had everything planned out. Now it's no longer working. So I was like, hey, remember this was like you enjoy the gap year for the first 2 months, né? Like you enjoy it, sitting at home, you see, and then you see kids complaining on social media saying that now they have to wake up and go to school. Now they have to buy uniform. You see those Pep adverts, bro. Pep is irritating, dog. Whenever like schools are about to reopen, Pep is very irritating. And then you see that and you're like, nah, I'm old now. I'm no longer like worried about that. Yeah, so it was fun for the first 2 months, but then the third month, things started kicking in now. I was like, sitting at home is no longer nice. Basically, like sitting at home as a child is not nice at all. Like, let's be honest with this. Sitting at home and not having anything to do but just sit there, sleep, wake up, eat, watch TV, listen to music, check on WhatsApp. Hey Brian, WhatsApp is boring these days. But then sit on WhatsApp, reply to that message that you didn't even like. You just blue tick that person.
Don't try this at home.
And then 2 weeks later, you're like, okay, let me just reply to push a conversation. That's your whole lifestyle. I don't know about other people, but then that's your whole lifestyle. And then helping my father out. But then it's like, it hits you hard because now, let's just say we all have like emotional damage, bro. At some point, we all are damaged in a way, you see. And like, when you're sitting there, I'm like, okay, this is my gap year, wada. When you're sitting there, this whole things that you've been like begging up while you were in school, like those emotions that you've been hiding, that pain and stuff, it comes back now because you don't have anything to do. It's like you're empty, you don't have a schedule, bro. Even if you can lie to other people and say that you're busy, but you're not busy. And then you're like, and then you just sit there. Everything comes down, comes falling, bro. You start taking yourself as a failure. You start like looking at life differently. You're like, you know what? It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. I'm staying at home, so what else must I do? Like, bro, the trauma, everything comes back, bro. If you have problems that you didn't fix, they come back. Like, there's some problems, we used to this stuff. They're like some problems where you're like, okay, now this is a problem. This is a serious problem. But then you're like, nah, I'm going to deal with you later. And then surely it will come back. Like, it will tell you straightforward, bro, you have some unfinished business. Deal with your emotions. So it goes with what kind of a person you are when you're dealing with those emotions, because it's really hard because you feel like, okay, now, like, why is this happening to me? Why am I facing this? Why am I having so many problems? And it's that part where you have to deal with them, bro. And that's why I say being a gent and taking a gap year really isn't easy. Because the things that you used to love, you don't love them no more. They come a time when you're like, okay, sure, I love this, I love this, I love that. But then I used to love this because I was still in school. Now you have to find yourself in this whole place, battle with your demons as well. And that's kind of hard, bro. For chance, it's kind of hard. Okay, let me not say for chance. Let me not generalize. Now, for me, it's kind of hard dealing with your own internal problems. You can't you can say and try to explain it to somebody. You understand? But then they won't understand what you're going through. They'll just try to help wherever they try to help. But then it's really up to you how you deal with it. You get it? So that's the first thing that I wanted to put out. That being a gent and taking a gap year, the emotional damage, bro, the emotional baggage is there, bro. It's too much, bro. It's too much for one person to handle. That's the first one. Emotional baggage, bro. It comes back. And then the second one, being broke. Yay. Being broke to a point where you're like, Yo, I rather nah, bro. Taking a gap year ain't easy, bro. Cause, yeah, bro. Yo, man. You know, I'm not that person who used to like. I'm not used to asking for money because I'm not used to getting cash most of the time. So I just hustle my cash and I get it. So at this point, you're like, at first you used to hustle cash in a way that involves maybe, let's just say, school. If you have strict parents, bro, that's the nicest way to ask for cash, because you use school to get whatever you want to get. Yeah, but maybe let's just say you just want I'm just, for instance, you want 1K, or you want to buy cakes or something like that, and you're like, ish, okay, I need this also from school. So how about I just say this about school, and then afterwards I know that I'll make sure that the money that I ask for will also help me to be able to buy the cakes as well, you know. So like maybe like call out an extra amount. Let's just say 2K, for instance. I'm just saying. Let's just say 2K, for instance. Obviously they will give you the money because, okay, it involves school as well, you know. Those are my parents. Like, they're that type of parents. Like, you don't ask money. You're like, hey, my timer, I need money. Yeah, but you don't just go there and ask for money, because you get a lecture, bro. Like, now that you're no longer in school, so that doesn't work anymore. So you're like, you start thinking now, because if you go there and be like, say, timer, I need cash. Yeah, but you're like, what do you need cash for? And then you say like, I need new clothes and stuff. Yeah, but and then they'll tell you, because you're a gent now, you're a gent. You're facing the real world now. You're about to face it. So we're like, yeah, I told you to apply for an internship. You were not going to stress about cakes or stress about clothes because you didn't apply for an internship. And I'm like, you see, and bro, the lecture that comes out of that when you ask for cash, because now you're staying at home, you're doing nothing, you're a gimba basically. All you do is eat, sleep, watch TV, and go back to sleep again. So like, boy, you're not doing anything, so we should just give you money just like that. Nah, never gonna happen. So being broke, how about you be broke, bro? You're going to be broke. And like, that's like the second thing, being broke. The third one is, what's the third one? Oh yeah, but this one falls under like the emotional baggage part, where you feel like you're no longer doing your best. They no longer like care about you. You can say whatever you want to say right now and then say like, nah, I mean, I never went through that. But no, bro, at some point eventually you will go through that part where you're like, okay, now I'm a failure. You think you're a failure even though you're not a failure. You know, you start like, yeah, but it doesn't fall like that. A low self-esteem, bro. Sometimes, like it hits you hard, when you're not thinking. Like, you can go out and be like, okay, I'm fresh and all that, bro. Like, some people when they bust, they're like, nah, bro, you're like, I'm fresh and all that. But then at the end of the day, you're like, sure, okay, you look cool. It's not. But what's your plan? You lost at that point. You're like, ish, okay, then I don't have a plan. That's the only thing, that like low self-esteem. At some point you will get a low self-esteem, bro. It won't last, depending on what type of person you are, it won't last, but then it'll be there though. Like, it'll hit your heart and be like, yeah, bro, yeah, you're a man without a plan. You're just living just for the sake of living. So that's the third one. Yeah, it's the third one. Like, low self-esteem. And then it goes down, bro. Like, it continues from there until you find out what you're good at. And then also, those are the three things that I should have known about taking a gap year. And now let's just talk about the good things. Let's just talk about the good things. It gives you some time to think about yourself though. It gives you some time. Even though you're going through the emotional baggage, you're going through the low self-esteem, you're going through being broke, it all helps you out in the end, because when you deal with them individually, so you start realizing some stuff like, okay, sure, my plan didn't work out at first. You see, I have emotional baggage. I know how to deal with certain emotions now. I know how to, like, not bag up your problems, not to bag them up and then bottle them up. No, not to bottle them up and then wait for that one day when it comes out, because you'll be so angry at that point because you don't know what to do. Yabo? So in my partner, it taught me that, like, yo bro, I need to deal with my problems head on. Don't dodge them because they'll always come back, you know? And like, start thinking outside the box. It took me a long time, bro. It took me a long time. Because when I was in Sabine, I was like, okay, sure, it's fine. I don't know what else to do, but then I know that something will come true. My uncle called me, was like, hey bro, you won't survive in Sabine, come to Joburg. You see, well, when I was coming to Joburg, I was like, I had this whole mentality that, you know, yeah, maybe something will pull through immediately, but something didn't pull through immediately. You tough. So I was like still stuck, and I was dealing with it. It's a good place to deal with your problems far away from home, you know, because you won't be facing people that you know. You have that. If you like grew up in a car scene, sorry for that. If you grew up in a car scene, or maybe let's just say a small car scene where everybody knows everybody, even though you don't know this person, but then they know you. Eventually, you have a mutual friend or something. You're like, okay, sure, this guy passed. This guy was a good boy in school. This guy, everybody was talking about him, but then now he's sitting at home. You see, that adds up even more. Like, it adds up to that, like, it piles up, like, okay, sure. So he was just flexing with good grades and stuff like that, but then he's stuck with us now. Yeah, well, those vibes. So it's good for you to get out of where you're from, like where you grew up or where you went to school to, and just go to a different place just to unwind. You see, when I got here, I started realizing, okay, I have to deal with my problems head on, and I started starting to see what I like and what I don't like no more. Yeah, because I used to think like I like this, I like that. You wanna like acting all sophisticated and stuff. Yeah, I used to act like that, but now I don't, bro. Now I don't, all because of this time off. So I was like, okay, sure, I'm this type of a person now, so let me just work on it. Yeah, well, and like, yeah, it's been a long process. It's been a very, very painful process, bro, because you feel like now, like, okay, you're like not living according to the program. Yeah, well, you're not understanding the assignment type of vibes. So it is still helping me out, ne? It is still helping me out because now I'm realizing some stuff. And yeah, bro, I'm changing, bro. That's why I'm saying that I'm rebranding. Come on, and you're gonna see, bro. I'm gonna become a whole different person. Just give me like, yeah, let me not put a timeline on it, but then you'll see eventually, you know. Oh, and by the way, before I go far, please check out my boy Terry. He goes by the name of The Anonymous on Facebook.
What?
And I'll play his song right now, and then just go check him out on Spotify, check him out on Instagram, check him out on SoundCloud. You know, my guy shared a stage with Lucas Raps. It was on the 2nd of July. I know it's late now, but then I'll just put everything right here. My guy shared a stage with Lucas Raps, so he's one of the upcomings now. Yeah, man, you're gonna hear about him soon, so listen to his song and then tell me what you think about it.
I'm crazy, I gotta get paid. I'm sipping on toxic waste. Beloved, I'm ending your grace. Get the fuck out of my way. I'm crazy, I gotta get paid. I'm sipping on toxic waste. Beloved, I'm ending your grace. Get the fuck out of my way. Get the fuck